By the way, I was told we have something called Hawaiian Pokeball also for sale here, as well as buying this thing in pieces. And they also have sushi. Also, 6 pieces of this for $15 is sushi, or they also have sushi. And again, you know, when you look at the price of the fish, when you go to these best restaurants in Manhattan, like Nobu, Yasuda, Masa, you know, they got $300 price fix, you pay roughly $15 to $20 a piece for good toro. So before you look at the price and say it's crazy, think if you go home and get your kagayaki rice or your tamaki gold, and then you make your own sushi, forget about it. The only time you can really go and pig out on sushi, and I'm an American, so I can say that, but is to buy it in a situation where you're slicing it yourself. Okay, we sold one of the collars. We have one left. These are $30. It's a lot of meat they put in here. If anybody wants to buy this thing, as far as the price goes, you know, you get a lot of fish, a lot of meat out of there, and it's excellent meat. You know, again, you can kind of see, even on here, you can see what I'm talking about. See that white? Now, Mr. Noble will take the, as it says in that YouTube video, everybody makes fun of it, his $10,000 sushi knife. He cleaned it off, he shaved with it this morning, but he did clean it. But this is magic. This is a magic show. By the way, if anybody has any questions while he's cutting it, you know, let me know. This fish most probably is about 6 or 7 years old. Giant bluefin get to about 30 years old. And up to about, I would say, 5 or 6 years ago, the prestige was the bigger the fish, the better. And now it's not that way. It used to be, and you read about those stories, fish going for, $1 million. The best eating fish, those in that range of 300 to 600 pounds. Those are the best eating fish. This is really going to show you the story of what I was talking about. Remember, the fat builds up on the outer layer. You see this on the outer layer, how it's lighter, and then it goes so fast that we come here and we all get together. And number one, as I said, on this very cold morning, I want to thank you all for coming here. Can everybody hear pretty good? Good. What this event is about more than anything else is not to hear me talk, but it's really a chance to experience the magic of giant bluefin tuna in getting some of this. And again, I've said it before, I don't work for the store or Mr. Noble, who is the purveyor of the finest restaurants in Manhattan. I do this because I am a tuna fisherman. I love tuna. And I'm a maniac for good quality sushi. And let me tell you something. What's going on with most restaurants today that call themselves Japanese restaurant sushi, the quality you get is really not what sushi could really be all about. You're tasting more flying fish eggs and mayonnaise than you are the quality of super good rice, seasoned correctly, and magical fish. Now, when you talk about magical fish, I love bluefin tuna. And I talk about the different kinds of tuna. There are basically, there are a lot of different kinds of tuna. But the ones that we mostly get involved with up in the Northeast, as far everywhere, across the United States to eat, there are basically longfin. Longfin tuna are what you get in your cans. When you buy bumblebee tuna, it's also called albacore. Great fish for what it does. And believe it or not, on the west coast, California, longfin albacore is also used for sushi, and it's good. It's good. The second fish is yellowfin. Yellowfin, when you go to most of your fish stores and you get a nice piece of tuna, that tuna is usually yellowfin tuna. That is the staple. The reason they don't use longfin is because people, especially in the United States, are ridiculously confused with color. Everybody wants that tuna to have that red cherry lifesaver color. That's really a bunch of baloney, but that's okay. If that's what they like, you got to give people what they like. That's called the business world. But you don't always want to look for that red color. It's just like a piece of beef. If you see a piece of beef that's all red, and you don't see that white marbling in it, you might get something pretty to look at, but it's not going to be the best piece of steak to eat. Similarly with fish, especially tuna, because you've got that contrast, and we'll see when we cut this one open later, that you'll see the fat. So don't fool yourself into thinking, oh, I want to get one that's really red. You're looking for fresh. You don't want that color that looks like it's off. But again, that's yellowfin. The third one is big eye tuna. By the way, longfin tuna get to about 50, 60 pounds. That's, world's record might be 80. But they're not as big as yellowfin, which get up to about, most of the fish around here are 80 to 100 that we go out and catch. but they do get up to 300 and 400 pounds on the West Coast on these long-range boats they go fishing on. Big eye also get to be about that 400-pound range, but most of the big eye we catch around here are 150 to 200 pounds. And big eye are excellent. They can be used for cooking, and they're also very good for sushi. When there are no bluefin around, a lot of times when you speak to your sushi chef, well, first of all, I hate to say this to you, but a lot of times some of these second and third class sushi places, you ask them what that is, they always tell you big eye. They have no idea. It might be a piece of halibut. But big eye tuna is excellent also. But the king of kings, the one that doesn't get to 300 and 400, the one that gets to 1,500 pounds, and most of them are 400, 500, 600 pounds, and made famous a lot by Wicked Tuna on all of those shows, but that is the giant bluefin tuna, or as they used to be called in Japan, the swimming buffalo. They are huge. Now, they have that real red color. They have the most toro over here. Give me a pair of gloves. Large if you have them. But they have the highest fat content. And again, I'll run out of time most probably. He'll tell me to keep quiet. I don't know if you guys find this interesting. I love it. So what it is the giant bluefin, the fat content right in here, that belly, that's the prize fish. Now these fish, the shape of these, and when you talk about mostly is that teardrop shape, you know, it's beautiful. You can take the same fish at a different time of the year. When they migrate, they don't eat as they swim across these oceans. They're called highly migratory species. So when they don't eat on these long trips, that belly, similar to mine without Ben and Jerry's Garcia, the belly goes down. And when the belly goes down, you lose the fat content. These particular fish came from Spain. And what they do with these fish is they, you know, it might say farmed and all that. Technically, they may have to say that. These are wild fish that they pen up for the last 6 months or so of their lives, and they shovel over tons of sardines and herring and anchovies, and the fish eat a lot of those fatty fish, and that's how the fish gets so round. When we cut this fish, you will see the fat content here is incredible. And it's also interesting to note, fat content is not only in the stomach. The fat content is on the whole outside of the fish. And when he cuts it, I'll bring a piece around and I will show it to you. And the way these fish are built, I want to put on my gloves, but I'll show you. They're so aquadynamic, it's insane. Look at that fin. There is a matching groove, a perfectly matching groove in the fish. I don't know who designs this stuff, man. I don't want to get into a religious speech. But how that works, how their dorsal fin folds into a little pocket, it's incredible. I am amazed with the magic of nature, and I will tell you, one of the top things in nature is this, beautiful bluefin. The fish, they cut into 4 quarters. You've got the bottom loin. Well, that's it. I ran out of time.